Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Faye Mack, and I post videos about life in Canada as a new immigrant and how to get here. You guys, as you can see, this is, a whole conference call. Okay. Hi, Kemi. Welcome. Oh, she's gone. Okay, she's going to join us in a bit. But Shaya, Sahid, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Fee. How are you?
IP.
Good, good, good. I want you guys to introduce yourself a little bit. If you have anything to plug in, please feel free to do so as well. And then we can jump into our topic for the day.
Shai, you can go first.
Okay, thanks, Zahid. And hi, everyone. My name is Shayo, but I like to be called the finance mom. I'm a new immigrant, fairly new immigrant in Canada. So, probably the newest, at least between both of you, Faye and Zahid. And I moved to Canada in August
Kemi, hi.
2020 with my
Hi.
family of six. And yeah, it's been great so far. I'm a finance professional and I'm a chartered accountant and I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us. You guys, Shaya is a big deal, just in case you didn't know. So you guys go follow her on Instagram, the Finance Mom. She shares a lot of tips about finance and things like that. Saeed, do you want to go next?
My name is, thank you very much, Faye, and good introduction, Shayo. My name is Sahid. I've been in Canada for roughly about 4 years, and I'm an IT professional. What else am I supposed to say?
Family of how many?
Okay, yeah. So family of four, and yeah, family of four, and
Okay.
I'm based in Calgary.
Alberta, Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're Calgary
No, I'm not.
personnel here.
No, no, no. I'm not your Calgary personnel here.
Calgary candidates. Okay, Kemi, how's it going?
I'm fine. I hope you can hear me, Sha.
I can.
Oh, okay, good. So my name is Kemi, and I'll say I've been in Canada for like 2 years, but currently I'm in Nigeria because I took a break from the whole Canada thing in 2020. So I came back to Nigeria for Christmas, and because of COVID in Ontario and the whole lock in, lockdown, go in, go back. I wasn't so sure I was going to come back that soon, so I just kept on being Nigerian. And fortunately for me, a lot of things came up that were really keeping me busy financially, mentally, emotionally. So I'm currently I'm based in Mississauga in Canada, but for right now I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. So
Okay.
nice to meet you all. It was my MBA that took me to Canada. So that's it.
Nice,
Family
nice.
of two. So that's it.
Okay. Kemi, I want you to give a brief background of, like, what province you landed in, and
Okay.
then, where you moved to and where you are right now. Because that's why you're here, because
I
you
mean,
revealed something on Instagram recently, and I was like, what? But that kind of ties into today's topic. So I want you to
okay.
just mention that. I'm just going to pull up the topic for the day now so I can
Okay.
paste it on the screen. So go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So I entered Canada in 2018. My destination was New Brunswick. I was in St. John, New Brunswick. I attended University of New Brunswick, so I did my MBA there. It was a 1 year master's program. After which I got my postgraduate degree, postgraduate work permit, which is 3 years. Fortunately for me, after doing a 1 year course. So when I was in St. John, I knew I never wanted to stay in New Brunswick because someone like me, I've lived in Lagos for a while, and like New Brunswick wasn't just it for me. There was nothing there apart from cheap rent. I wouldn't lie, and insurance, but life in general was just like a triangle, the same thing, and the weather was a bit extreme. So yeah, not much. Like we all knew ourselves. Like I know all the Nigerians, not even the Nigerians. I know all the black people, and I don't want the place where I know everybody. And everybody knows me. Like sometimes I'll be like I'm not around. Then somebody will see me in Costco or something. I'm like I can't leave here because I like my me time. Do you understand?
Right.
And it was just a small place. The weather, the people are friendlier, but job opportunities, right? Job opportunities are a bit limited there. You can't even get any African stuff where I lived in St. John. You had to go to like Moncton, of which in Moncton itself the stuff are limited. I remember buying spoiled yam and all those kind of things because they've just been there. I didn't have any choice. So sometimes I had to go to like Halifax. You understand? But yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But I feel like if you're a first timer, especially if you're coming with your family, New Brunswick will be good for you in terms of costs. Because there, I the first place I stayed was like a 5 bedroom, and we paid 1.5 for rent.
Hmm.
Well, then after then, I
That's a
moved
lot.
to Ontario and I started living in Mississauga because the first time I visited Mississauga, I just liked it. So I knew, like, okay, I wanted to go somewhere close to Toronto, maybe not Toronto, but I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm alive. Do you understand? So,
Zahid. Okay. So okay. So thank you for
Don't test
that.
me. Don't test me.
Let's go. So you guys don't mind my blazer that I'm wearing. It's just because I had a client meeting before this. Listen, this is very very laid back. Just chill, and I'm sure you guys would enjoy. Watching. If you're watching and you can hear us, please hit the thumbs up button so I know that we're not just talking to ourselves. Okay.
exactly.
Please hit the thumbs up button. Drop a comment. Let me know you can hear us. If you want to join the call, you guys, I think you have a link that you can use to join the call. So now I just have the topic here. So somebody posted on Twitter recently, well, yesterday, and it trended on, our Canadian community groups and things like that, and on Twitter as well. And the topic was, leaving Canada for Nigeria. And I have this panel here because some of them are runaways. They ran back to Nigeria, so that's why I have this panel. But here's the tweet. I have a friend who was earning 350,000 naira in his job here in Nigeria, and he left it all to journey abroad. 2 years on, he keeps complaining with bitterness what a mistake that has been, and how not easy life is abroad. He's planning to come back this year for good. Have a plan. And the person went on later to say that this country was Canada, right? So I'm just going to leave it up there for a couple of people that are just joining to read so that they know what the topic is. Leaving Canada. Now, I know a lot of people say, a lot of these Twitter stories are not true. A lot of these Instagram stories are not true. Yes, that might be true, but we see these things happen. Like some of these stories that seem bogus to a lot of people, we know someone that knows someone that has done it. So that's why it's still very relevant for us to talk about, because okay, I posted this thumbnail on Instagram and everybody's like, moving where? But at the same time, I always say Canada is not for everybody, right? So that's why I want to hear you guys' point of view. I want to know why Kenny ran away back to Nigeria. I want to know why Shaya will live in a heartbeat if she has a chance to, because I know. And
So
yeah.
Shire wants to leave too.
Wait now, wait.
I think you're on mute, Shire. Or you're on mute. No. So I just want to know if maybe I'm the weird one out of the group.
No,
So
no,
that's
no,
why.
no, no,
No, no,
no,
no, no,
no,
no.
no.
I'm
You're not.
saying I don't know what Faye is talking about. I don't want to run away. At least not in the next couple of years.
But
No.
temporarily, like
But I did run away like Kemi for a bit. So indeed.
So there's the confession right there.
Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
Saeed and I are probably more towards the Almoidayo type of view. So I'm going to try as much as possible to stay neutral. I'm going to be asking probing questions from each side. So I'm not going to stay in one place. Nobody should tell me if you stay in one place. I'm like a pendulum in this conversation right now. Right? Okay. Kemi, tell us
Yes.
what you've been 5 years in Canada, right? Or even six? Or
No,
how
no.
many? Sorry, I thought
Two.
we came around the same time. 2 years.
No,
Okay.
at all.
You've been 2 years in Canada.
Yes.
Tell me why you ran back to Nigeria.
This running says they will think I stole something. So basically, it was. So you know that 2020 was like the year of COVID, right? Like that was when the whole lockdown thing started. And Ontario, they took their own way extra, right? So my plan was just to come for Christmas actually. But when it was time to come back in January, like we were still on lockdown in Ontario. And even my job, like you have to be physically there. And we didn't even still open till like July. So me, I was thinking about it like, coming back because like my husband is in Nigeria. So I was like coming back, going back there. There's nothing there. There's lockdown. There's nobody. Cold will kill me this period and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? And to be very honest with you, my type of person in Canada is really doesn't really do it for me, but I like it because of insurance, and I'll come to that. Like Canada is my insurance place, is my backup plan. You know how a lot of people say we're moving because of our future, which the future is like your kids, right? So that's it for me. If it was left to only me, like with where I am right now, there are a lot of things that I'm in the middle of in Nigeria right now. You understand? So, and then staying back again, like other opportunities, other doors were opening for me. So I didn't want to like take chances with them because it's not like I really had like a very good job there right now. So it wasn't like I was running to anything or anybody at that time. I was living alone. So it's different for people that have families there, or like you have your partner, you have your kids, you have sisters. Nobody, especially at a time like that. So I wasn't ginger to go, especially that weather. When I think about it, I wasn't ready at all. I wasn't ready. So
See, I
that's
don't
just
blame you.
it.
I don't blame you. And you mentioned a couple of things, which number one was insurance, right? Like
Yeah,
the purpose of moving in the first place wasn't because you were just, I don't know, completely tired of Nigeria and you
yeah,
wanted a different place. It was because of, your future kids, right?
yeah.
So yes, okay. Shayo, why did you run away before? And why did you come back? You're on mute, Shayo.
Keep
You're good now.
Yes. So I was saying for you, full disclosure, right? So I didn't run away. I took a temporary break. So it wasn't, I knew I was coming back. It was really temporary for me. But my whys are very similar to Kemi's. So coming moving to Canada in 2020, it was a difficult choice for me and my family. So we had the PR since sometime in 2019. We had landed and then we moved back, and we were still dragging feet, like trying to figure out, did we want to come, did we not want to come? And it was back and forth. And then COVID happened. We were all working at home and we thought, okay, great opportunity, we can work remotely, let's move to Canada, at least let's try it out. And so we moved, family of five. I was pregnant, my husband, three children, and we just came here and started living here. And we realized we actually did like it. So coming in 2020 was like, okay, let's test the waters. Let's see that this is really what we wanted to do and all. Then in March of 2021, I had a baby, and at that time my husband decided to resign his job because yeah, getting help was almost impossible. It was just us, so my husband decided to resign his job in Nigeria. So that was like the first real grounding we had in Canada, because it was like for the entire period we still felt like we still had our grounds in Nigeria. Both of us were still working Nigerian jobs. We could still move back. But the moment he took that decision to stop his Nigerian job, we knew, okay, you know what, this is it for us. So he stopped working, but I was on maternity leave from my Nigerian job, but I was still employed by my Nigerian employer. And then having a newborn, coping with a newborn all on our own, even though we were both like full-time parents at the time. I was on maternity leave, my husband wasn't working, but it was really difficult. The kids were on schooling at home. That's the older kids. They were schooling at home, and it was just a lot for us. So I ran away in September, for at the end of September, and it was more for my mental health. I just needed to breathe. I just needed like to release some energy. So I went with my last two children who are not in school in Ontario, my 3-year old and my, at the time, 6 months old, to Nigeria. And then my husband stayed back here with the older kids. And then I stayed in Nigeria till early in December, when they said they were going to lock the borders. And I didn't want to get like be stuck in Nigeria. My half of my family was here. So I ran back. But going really did help my mental health. Like I had like loads of people waiting to help me, to support me. Like I pretty much was announcing to everybody, I'm coming. I just want to come and chill. And everybody that asked me, what are you coming to do? I'm like, I'm coming to sleep. Like I just want to sleep. So indeed that was it for me. But it was just supposed to be a temporary. I just want to go and sleep. I went, I slept, and I felt better, and I came back.
And you're back.
Yes.
Nice, nice, nice. I like that. So, Sahid, you've been here over 3 years now. Have you been back to Nigeria at all?
No, actually, it's going to be four in probably maybe like in 2 weeks, 4 years.
Hmm.
I've not been
Nice.
back, though I've left the country a few times, but I've not gone to Nigeria. If you ask me, and please don't ask me when next I'm going to be in Nigeria. Maybe this year will be the year. I'll be going back, but it's quite interesting. I had different notes to share with the group, but the way, based on what I've heard from Shaya and Kemi, I have to throw that out the window. Because I was kind of expecting other people to be more like wanting to
Positive.
stay. That Canada is the best thing since sliced bread, but it's kind of different from what I'm hearing right now. But I'm I'm happy to hear that because I'm actually on your side, and I'll explain why. So first, I moved here. I don't know. I don't know. Shayo probably knows me. But I moved here with my family, and
Oh, you guys know each other?
Yes, we do.
yeah,
See
yes, we do.
you.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I moved here. I had a good job in Nigeria. I still have a good job right now. And when we moved here in the middle of winter, and just like you said, Calgary is supposed to be cold. It was probably like maybe -10 when the day we landed in Calgary. And I'll say it again. I have absolutely no regrets. There were a couple of things that we wanted to come and do, and we've been thankfully, and I don't want to be too religious here, but thankfully, by the grace of God, things have been nice. I keep telling people this that cares to listen. First things first, what is wrong with Nigeria? Why do you want to leave? So if you write that down and you look at, okay, so what is right about Canada, and you also write that down, and if Canada kind of solves your problem, whether in the short term or in the long term, then maybe Canada is a good idea. Canada might not necessarily work for everybody, but I want us to first. One of the easiest ways that when you share that topic, and I'm sure a few people will probably say that one of the things I always look at is the number to say why would anybody go back to Nigeria because of 350k job. Let's disregard the exchange rate. I don't know what job Kemi is doing. She looks like one who is chilling with the big boys. Who is Bam Bam?
Yeah, I think that.
So it's about past tense. I really hope that we don't lose Kemi anytime soon because of
No, it's fine.
NEPA or whatnot.
No,
She
don't
probably
worry.
has-
My house is covered. It's covered.
No,
Don't worry, I have
no,
inverter.
Okay. You have inverter, so
Yes,
it's never going to happen. That's fine.
nah.
But a whole lot of people leave because of non-financial reasons, while some people also leave because of financial reasons.
Mhm.
I, in particular, I think I just got to this point whereby because one, I've lived abroad before and went back to Nigeria, and we kind of, and that was London, and we kind of, it was easy for us to see because if you're in Nigeria, for instance, and you've not seen anywhere past Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, wherever you stay in Nigeria, there might be a tendency for you to think that this is the best life you're living, or this is the best you can get. So we stayed abroad. It was easy for us to compare it between what we wanted and how things should technically be. And so when Canada opportunity for Canada came up, it was not necessarily easy. It's easy for me to say it now that it was an easy decision. No, it wasn't an easy decision because I kind of took our time to get here, and definitely the first year was rough. A whole lot of people when they encounter that first year, that's when they're like they really need to go back. I tell people that care to listen right now that it will always be rough that first year. Some people might be lucky. I know people that actually got jobs before even getting here. Okay. And that's because I'm looking at it from the financial side for now. I will talk about the other side. But from the financial side, it would I expect that settling in. And I spent 2 hours on the phone with somebody who is planning to come in the summer. And I said, look at it this way. If somebody from Burundi comes to your office and wants to get a job, would you say, boom, take the job since you have ACCA? That's for accountants and things like that. Or since you have a one IT certification. I said there's a tendency for you to say, Burundi, what exactly is in Burundi? Do they even have computers in Burundi? But think of it that way. When a recruiter is talking to you in Canada, there's a tendency for them to not think there's anything in Nigeria or the experience you have might not be fantastic. But once you cross that year one, in some cases, there will always be the outlier that will probably still struggle in year two. Once you cross that year two, and Canadian experience is not an issue, and you know the system, you network with the right people and things like that. Financially, you should be all right. And to now, please don't convert. But if you mistakenly convert, it's like day and night. Okay, and it's not everybody that even has something to go back to. Now, remember, I said some people were earning good cash before they even left Nigeria. The guys that were not earning good cash before they left Nigeria, it is a no-brainer. They're not going to go back for 350k. They're not going to go back for something that is less paying. But some people actually left good jobs, good positions, and if they do decide to go back today, they'll still get those good jobs. They'll probably even get more money because now they have 1 to 2 years Canadian experience. So financially, for a whole lot of people moving back and forth, majority of people, Canada will make sense financially. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Said. You made a whole bunch of like very valid points. And I want us to kind of come back into the specific scenario. Um, because I saw a lot of comments. I read comments from people, within our communities on Twitter, and everybody just thought this person was completely crazy to be moving back um for a 350k job. Now, the story does say that the person had a 350k job 2 years ago, moved to Canada, and then they're going crazy. What are some of the things in your own experience that you think can be causing somebody to go crazy in Canada? Somebody that, if you look at, the whole NSAS situation, everybody knows how the country is. So, and when you apply to come to Canada, you're applying because you really want it. You don't just fall into it. It's not a visa lottery where you just put and then forget about it. No, you are actively putting documents together so that you can make it to this country. So why would somebody who has gone through that? Well, that's also my own assumption too, because we don't know how this person came to Canada. We don't know if they crossed the border and Kawasoke and said and just became a refugee, right? We don't know the kind of lifestyle that that person was living, but of course we only have that story that we have, so we can make our own assumptions reasonably. Now, most of the people in my most of my subscribers, most of my audience, they're coming in the right way, legally, through Canadian permanent residency, through express entry programs or whatever, provincial nomination. How will somebody like that, what kind of things would happen for them to say they want to go back? Let me start with Kemi.
Okay, so like Said said, there are two different people that move to Canada. Those that move for quality of life and those for quantity of life. Now, for quality of life, those are people that already are okay, and then they move because they just want a sane environment. Quantity of life are those people you need to warn like 10 times that. I don't think you will go there and be picking dollars on the road. Now, why people move, I would think one is mental health, in the sense that, especially, this is what I noticed. I noticed that people who do undergrad in Canada or anywhere abroad that do, like after secondary school, they go to Canada and they live that stretch of their life. They find it easier to assimilate more than people that maybe did permanent residency, that have lived here, that are schooled here. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So for people like that, like I would say mental health in the first place, in terms of the kind of society and culture we're used to in Nigeria. Let's say you just had a kid, right? In Nigeria, don't worry, they will take care of you. They will bath, they will press your leg. If your baby is crying, there are people that can come, they can help you. Do you understand that kind of thing? You can afford, if you want one nanny, two nanny, you can afford them. Now, I'm just using the example of a woman that gave birth to just buttress this point. But when you are abroad, all those things, they are like luxury. Do you understand? Like for you to afford it, you need to spend. If you're earning 3k or 4k, if you're spending 1.5 or 2k on a nanny, what are you going to spend on the child? What are you going to spend on yourself, on your family? So number one, like help and that mental health. And we're in that society where you can be 3 years, you can be 4 years. They have the advantage, no doubt. You won't know your neighbor. If you're even dying, you know your neighbors may not even know that you're dying. Do you understand? And then the weather. So those are different things. Some people think, oh, don't worry. Sometimes I read comments, right? People are like, please come, let us go. There are different strokes for different folks. That's what people don't understand. People think that, yes, like me, don't worry, I didn't run. I'll still be back. But for now, I'm catching a mental break. Do you understand? So yeah, that's it. Like that mental health thing. Like at a point people think, okay, I'm coming for the quantity or the quality, but your mind, like you can't be faster than your mind. Your mind controls you, right? So some people, they struggle with all those things. They struggle to be in an environment where they don't have help. They struggle to be in an environment where everything is like a triangle, where it's like this, like this, like this, like this, like this every day. Because like only that December I came back, like I felt like relieved. I was, so many things that happened. So I think number one is like that mental health. Some people want to be close to their family too, because for example, someone like me, I was the only one there, and everybody else is here. I couldn't. You can't even talk with anybody. I consider myself a friendly person, but I couldn't make any friend like my whole 2 years, especially a native Canadian. I mean, I had Indian friends. My in-law self would say, "You are not these Chinko and Indians again." I said, "They are the ones talking to me. Am I not going to talk to them?" Do you understand that kind of thing? So I think that's it. Like to me, or I consider like that mental health thing and the help you get. So that's why I use the example of a pregnant or a woman that gave birth, because that's when you're going to really feel something like that.
Hmm. I can totally relate because
Kemi is testing me. Kemi is testing me. All the points you have dropped.
Zahid is
Kemi
looking
is
to
testing me.
me. It's not
now
debate.
let's,
Oh.
let's have a
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah,
What
yeah,
are your
testing
thoughts
me.
about that, Sahid?
No,
So
Kemi was pretty
Okay,
much ticking
okay.
a lot of things on my notes. Like I was looking at my notes and I'm like, Kemi, did you get expo from my notes before you
That's it
came
now.
came on here? But
It's
I
just the
completely agree
reality.
with a lot
And
of your points.
Sahid, before you go on, okay, I'm a new mom. You guys know
okay.
that. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
listen, it's not easy. I had my mom come, my dad come, my mom-in-law now come. Like, because I have that support, and my sister obviously next door, I have that support. So I'm not really feeling, like that. But when my mom-in-law goes back, it's like back to reality. I don't know how I'm going to cope. There was a 2-week break in between my mom leaving and my mom-in-law coming, and I wanted to run mental, even though my husband is extremely supportive. He still has to work, right? So I totally understand the whole Nigerian thing. You have a nanny, you have a housekeeper, you have a driver, and one thing I say is that you don't even have to become like totally wealthy to have this in Nigeria, because labor is cheap, right? And that's a good thing and also a bad thing, because that means people are not really making enough, right? Because labor is that cheap. But Sahid, say your mind.
See, with everything in life, I don't think. Well, I had to work hard for a whole lot of things I have. So, but I think my upbringing and the way my family has always been. First, let me put it out there. My kids are older. Okay, I have a 10-year-old. Well, one that will be 10 in March, and another one that is 7, will be 8 in October. So let me put that out there.
But when
So I
you
don't.
came, they
But
were
wait,
much
wait, wait.
younger.
But yes, yes, yeah. This was like 4 years ago. So more like that's like 4 and 3, that kind of. I said 4 and 3, 6 and 3.
Like
Yeah,
6 and 3, yeah.
yeah. So, but I want to mention something. The two of them, they were both born in London. Okay, and when they were born in London, uh, obviously it's more or less the same scenario. God bless my wife, and maybe because she was not working there, it was easy for her to also take care of them. Okay, and when you look at, and I keep saying this with regards to any scenario you're in, I personally in my family we've never had a house help. Well, that might have come out wrong. We've had one house help who lasted
Okay.
about a week or two, and the reason why she left was boredom. She had absolutely nothing to do. She couldn't bath the kids. She couldn't do anything. When she came over, the woman just said, "I beg, let me go," and that was it. And we've never had one since then. Now, and what I've always had was, okay, I had a driver at some point in time and who was like taking my ride back and forth and whatnot. I used the driver to every now and then too. Obviously, there's my guard, a guard for the house, and that's it. So that's about it. So we've always liked our privacy. We've always, in fact, my mother-in-law never spent the night in our house until we came to Canada. And guess when it was? 2020. So I've been married for about, it will be 11 years in July. So she has never spent one night in our house. So throughout the time that I had kids in the UK, for instance, yes, my mom came over, she helped a bit, but maybe because my wife likes being hands-on, maybe that's why. But since we came to Canada, my wife has practically been working every day except maybe the first 1 month. But like I said, different strokes for different folks. When Kevin was saying something about a whole lot of things, I know we all react to Canada or react to a new environment in different ways. So I don't blame her. I can't. I'm not allowed to judge somebody by the way it affects you mentally, because I also probably react to other things in a different way than you do. I wonder that why is I acting or reacting that way. So, but the one that is most common, the weather, the cold. People keep telling me that. And maybe because I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and it's always funny. My cousin, I still sent the what's it called? I still sent
Weather.
the Calgary weather
Weather.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's in Burlington. So I was like, we're having summer here. And I was here yesterday that I shared a video of me grilling chicken outside in
In
the
the
snow.
snow.
In the snow. In the snow. But wait, it was 6 degrees, by the way. No, sorry, that doesn't sound right. Sorry, if you're in Nigeria, they hear
Zahid, you're
6 degrees, by the way.
bragging. You're
It
bragging.
wasn't 6 degrees. It was like 3 degrees.
You're bragging.
I swear.
For someone in Nigeria, 3 degrees, 6 degrees doesn't really matter. It's freezer to them, okay?
Yes,
But
now.
but I've grilled in -5 before. I love grilling. I love good food and things like that. But don't worry, that's another story time. But my point is, with regards to the weather, you are inside your house. You're not standing by the bus stop. You dress appropriate for it. I will always choose being in the cold weather than being when it's very hot. It might sound ridiculous. Some people prefer to be in their shorts and whatnot, but I don't think, like a friend of mine that I traveled back to Lagos recently said, from the airport or from the plane, it was as if he entered like hellfire or something for that. He had to start removing all his clothes and whatnot, and he was sweating with the AC on and whatnot. That it was 16 degrees or 18, like the AC is supposed to. But that weather part, I think it's something that you get used to it. My kids, even right now, they sleep with the fan on in their rooms, even though it's supposed to be cold. Yes. Remember, and you might not know this, in Canada, and the same thing everywhere in Canada, the kids are expected to go out to play every day, even in winter, unless it's guess what? -20, more than -20. So when it's -10, my son is in grade 5, and when I drop him off at the bus stop for to take a bus, I see people wearing trainers when it's -5, -10, and I'll be telling him to wear winter boots. Some of them wear hoodie when I'm telling him to wear what's it called, a winter jacket. And I mentioned this in my office group, and they were like, "Dude, wait till they are like in their teens. It gets worse. That they don't think the weather is out there." And for I don't know if you guys have actually go out clubbing, but in some cases when you see the queue outside the club, you see some ladies wearing hot pants in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Standing
my own is
outside on
Yeah.
after a
concert
while,
queue.
yeah, after a while, you get used to the weather, and maybe that's why I'm fresh like this, and so. That's why but however, I tell people this: the support system is critical. You need to go somewhere you have friends. You need to go somewhere you have maybe even family. You need to see somebody that you know on a regular basis, and not just using WhatsApp to even say hello to them. If you don't have that, it might be difficult for you. But maybe you need to also figure out a way to make new friends. And that's what I've done. I didn't know Feyi from Adam. And I've probably spoken to Feyi more in the last 4 years, at least, whether directly or on a group, than, I don't know, some of my old friends I've known for over 10 years or more. So you need to make new friends. And that definitely will help you, whether it's going to be professionally, whether it's going to be socially. And, well, Feyi, maybe you should have gotten a single person here. Maybe those ones will have given a different perspective.
Yeah.
But for the single people too, they have their own different challenge from married people. But I'll say it again. With regards to mental health, thankfully, back in the days, we used to go to Nitel to call our loved ones abroad. Now it's WhatsApp. So if you want to talk to your mom, if you are missing your mom, you are missing your relatives or your siblings or whoever, you can always jump on your phone and you start talking. Yes, time difference might be an issue in terms of when you are talking right now, like Kemi should be sleeping right now, preparing for tomorrow. I don't know if he's working for a Canadian company or a Nigerian company, but I think all things being equal, the time difference might be a problem. But it's never gonna be easy. If you go back to Nigeria, you're only staying there because it's a conducive environment. Yeah, sorry, because it's the environment that you're used to. No, sorry, I asked you.
So are
To
you
go
trying
back.
to say it's not conducive?
Is that the topic? Today's topic? No, because I don't want to go into something that is related to different people.
Yeah.
Okay, but my point is that It's supposed to be people are comfortable in their safe zone, safe space, and whatnot. But life doesn't work that way, because even when you're single or when you're in school, for instance, all you needed to do was just get good grades. And well, depending on even how buoyant, how much money you have and tell your parents, but get good grades, there's a good chance that you get to a good school, move to the next grade, and that's it. Go home, ask your everybody, say, hey, yippee, you've passed, and that kind of stuff. But immediately you got out of school, the syllabus changed for many of us. There was no some people have not collected a dime from their parents since they left school. In my own case, practically since I left school, nothing has happened. So the next thing, you change job, okay, or you get a first job. Of course, again, you don't know that environment, you adapt to it. Okay, you are now used to somebody. It's now more. It's not just you chilling and getting money. Now you have to work for it. Then when you change jobs or when you move to a different location, for instance, I was working in Lagos. At some point, I was working in Abuja. I was flying every week to Abuja for work. At some point, I went to a secondment and I went to London to work there. Another environment. One thing that is constant in life, not one thing, one of the things constant in life is change. Maybe people should adapt, learn to adapt. Because when you are done adapting, everything is soft after. Oh.
Shayo, I want to talk about the financial aspect too. And this also goes to you, Sahid and Kemi. Um, Now this person mentioned the salary, so of course, there's they're implying that they were doing relatively well, right? Because 350k in Nigeria, I don't think that's small money. You guys that are watching, drop a comment. 350k per month salary in Nigeria, is that bad? I don't think that's bad salary. However, on my Instagram, just from posting this thumbnail an hour ago, somebody already commented 350k Nigeria is nothing. But in my own opinion, no, I think 350k is not terrible, but I know that there's inflation, right? And we tend to directly convert and say, oh, 350k in Nigeria is not up to 1,000
Someone just did that.
Canadian dollar.
Someone did exactly that in the comments.
But listen, like when you want
In Rome.
your expenses are not the same,
Yeah.
right? You can't really do a direct comparison because that person that is earning 350,000 naira is not spending dollar. They're not spending
Yeah.
200 Canadian dollar a month just for electricity. They're not of food in this country. Like food that you eat is expensive here too. So the inflation is everywhere, maybe in some countries more than others. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is 350k per month a good salary or a bad salary in Nigeria? I know this you
Okay.
could say it depends, it's relative, but no, I want you to answer me.
No, no, I will be direct. We said it, we're being straight on this call. It's easy, it's straight. So 350k in Nigeria. What's my opinion? I believe it's an okay salary, but it is not enough to live a good life in the current day Nigeria. 2 years ago, Nigeria is very different from current day Nigeria because inflation in Nigeria year on year has been, I think, between 2020 and 2020 2019 2020 was over 20%, 2020 2021 was 17% plus. So with those sort of inflation numbers, what the guy was able to do with 350k 2 years ago, the person is not able to do with 350k today. If you need to use, so, and now I think the test of good salary anywhere can be something like, you can use an index like rent. If you need to save up maybe 2 to 3 months of salary to be able to pay your annual rent, because for the person to live in an okay place, the person needs, I hear that rent in K2, which is supposed to be like average in Nigeria now, in Lagos, sorry, not in Nigeria, in a place like K2, rent for a two-bedroom apartment is like 900 to 1 million. In
Hmm.
a place, I'm not talking Lekki, I'm not talking VI, I'm not talking
Yeah.
Oniru, I'm talking Ogba,
Definitely.
I'm talking K2. But I'm already talking 1 million. So the person needs 3 months of rent. And I don't know if the 350k is net or gross, but let's even assume it's 350k net. The person needs to save up 3 months' salary to be able to pay his 1 year rent. Let's assume he's going to get a new house, he's going to pay agency, he's going to pay legal and all of those things. That means maybe like 4 months' salary to pay
Hmm.
rent. We've not furnished the house, we've not done anything. So that sort of like puts perspective. Okay, you are going to say, okay, maybe he doesn't want to stay in the two bed, maybe he wants to stay in the self-contained, So it's all of these perspectives that makes you realize, okay, is 350k enough? But the thing for me, and this is where I wanted to start the conversation, is very, very important. If you're going to move either way, are you moving to Canada? Are you moving to Nigeria? What is your why? It's really important that we, know within ourselves what our whys are. Like this guy moving back, I really, really honestly doubt he's moving back for the money, because the money is probably not enough motivation to drive someone that lives in Canada to move back for 350k. But that doesn't mean his whys are not valid. He might have some very many valid whys that might, drive him to want to move back. And I can't invalidate his whys. One thing I see that, would I say drives people to make this sort of decisions is maybe inadequate planning at the beginning. It's really, really important to know your whys. Why do you want to move to Canada in the first place? And how do I come? Many people are moving to Canada, but they don't even plan. They don't even research. They haven't asked questions. They haven't watched all of Faye Max videos and all the other videos of people that have moved to say, okay, what am I doing? What are my credentials? What do I need to do? What kind of career? What do I need to do in advance? What do I need to hold along? All of that all of that planning needs to happen, because when you do not plan, when you just, land there and then you now start to plan when you're already there, there's some stress that comes with that. I was getting ready for this presentation and I'm like, yes, I love to go to Nigeria. I want to go meet my friends, play. I had an amazing time in Lagos when I went the other time, but I don't know the amount of money anyone is going to pay me today to move to Nigeria. Like, at least not in the next couple of years. Okay, I can't, I try to think about it. Like, I try to put several zeros behind a number and say, if they offered you this, would you move back? And my answer was still no, right? Because I'm very clear
Smile.
about my whys. But so it's really important to be clear about your whys. Why are you here in the first place? Why did you come here? Why do you want to be here? Do you even want to be here? Or were you just maybe secondary applicant? They forced me, they dragged me along, So it's all of these dynamics that have to be clear before you decide that, okay, I want to move, I want to stay, and all of that.
Thank you for that, because I was actually going to ask you, like, is there an amount that somebody will offer you in Nigeria that would make you go back for the money? Not for, like, putting all other reasons aside, that okay, this money, I know I cannot make it in Canada at this rate.
Today, no.
Yes.
In a couple of years, when I have my Canadian passport, yes, I have a number. I think someone has even asked me that question before, and I gave the person the number, and the person was like, So yes, indeed, I have a number. But for today, before I get my Canadian passport, I don't know that number. That number has plenty, plenty zeros behind it. I don't think anybody is going to offer me that. I don't even think I'm worth that. Like, anyone would offer me that kind of money. So right now, it's really priceless for me to be here, to qualify for the passport, and to get it.
Okay, you raised a very valid point, which is something that I was going to get into later. So I'll come back to that, but let's go to Sahid. What about you? Is there a number that you have in mind that somebody will offer you that, oh, just for that job, oh, you will go and be an expatriate in Nigeria?
Um, I definitely there's a massive range that I can be paid and I'll move to Nigeria for. I have absolutely no problem moving to Nigeria, but it depends. It's much more than money for me, because if it's the right opportunity that would give me a bigger role in the future, that would be fantastic. So, for instance, if Amazon, and please don't laugh at me, if Amazon should say they are going to expand, is it expand or start do something, have a massive presence in Nigeria, for instance, or in Africa, and Nigeria will be my base, for instance, I'll probably take it up. There's a good chance that Amazon will probably even pay me more than I currently earn, knowing fully well that I'm an expatriate. So, but the same thing goes for yeah, a couple of I've always had uh, this dream of actually contributing to the country itself. So if it's something that has to do with government, it might be something that I might consider. I just have to ensure that the numbers make sense, that even the minimum amount, the amount I'm making, will take care of my minimum bills here, considering my family will be here in Canada. So yes, there's a figure. I'm not that expensive. It depends on. It's to me, it's much more than money for me. So it might not. I don't have to ask for the whole world. If it's about my current salary versus what they can pay in Nigeria, nah, it's not possible. So that's for me.
Zahid,
Okay.
you okay?
Go ahead, Shayo. No, no,
No, no,
no.
carry
I think
now.
you're
I don't know why
muted.
I'm mute now. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, no, I was saying, Sahid, you just need to highlight if you have qualified for your Canadian passport or not.
You see
Just
that there are a couple of information that I would rather not answer on live broadcast. But my point is,
no, it's
I'll say it again. For me personally, please note. Maybe we had another guy. I've also noticed that when we are talking about relocating to Nigeria, I don't know why there's this gender bias. Well, I think they have difference in terms of what they want to do. Men always somehow, and please, I'm not saying this, I'm not overgeneralizing or whatnot, but somehow a whole lot of guys that I know, a whole lot of guys are looking forward to at some point that they'll go back. A lot of women, a lot, not everybody or not most, a lot of women that I know are the opposite. For instance, my wife and I, we differ in that area in regards to going back. So for me, if the opportunity comes and it's something that will give me what I've always like crossed one of the things on my bucket list, honestly, I don't think I'll be that expensive. So, but I'm looking
Okay.
forward to commenting on that 350k because that one is special to me. Like, but Kemi, I want to say something. Oh, do you have a number already, Kemi? Since
A
you're
He
working in
number.
Nigeria.
does.
Okay.
Someone that is already in Nigeria.
No, I don't know because she might be working in a
Okay,
Canadian
so
company or
Oh
working
yeah,
in
so
Ghana.
now let that.
well, 350, like I know you said we shouldn't differentiate, but I'll just put this as a side is that it depends on your whether you're single, married, wherever you're living at that point. But to me, coming from my position, I would just say it's decent enough, right? I'll just say it's decent enough. Now, it's not about so if you're asking me about what numbers, are you asking what numbers will bring me
No,
back
what
to Nigeria?
number? But do you have a number?
Do I have a number? I've never really thought of it. Well, maybe because okay, currently what I'm doing right now in Nigeria, which is part of what I'm doing, is that I and my husband we have a talent management company. I will manage artists. I don't know if you know this artist called Buju. So he's under our company. I will manage him, and
Nice. I like
I
Buju.
can't put anything to it. Do you understand? I
Ooh.
never thought about the money thing, but
Mm-hmm.
if I'm going to like fully be here in my position, there should be a lot of zeros to it though. There'll be
Hmm.
a lot of zeros to it. But yeah, like I told you, Canada is my insurance. So I need to settle my whole Canada thing, just like Shayo said. So we need to settle that one first before we start thinking of the zeros in Nigeria. So that's why right now I'm just doing my own thing, like our own business and
Mm-hmm. Honestly, me, I can move back to Nigeria. Oh, like, and it doesn't even have to be for something so massive. Honestly,
mm-hmm.
I'm a Niger girl at heart. Like
Are you serious?
during, oh yeah, yeah, just like you being in Nigeria for 1 year. I've gone to Nigeria for like 4 months.
Wow.
And honestly, listen, my skin became clear,
You be
my hair
glowing.
was thriving. Okay, like I was happy, I was
no,
eating,
oh
I
yeah.
feel
I
you.
was
I know that.
Oh.
living.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling you
I
Listen,
described.
know it's only
I'm hearing.
Saeed wait on
Wait,
us.
wait. You said your skin became clear with that
Yes,
Nigerian
now.
song.
See
yes,
my
I'm telling
own.
you. I am telling you. I am telling you. My Canadian water
Seriously,
and
oh.
weather is
It
not
makes you
very good for
ashy.
my skin and hair. I'm
Mm,
telling you. When I went to Nigeria, you know that time that my first winter, when I don't know if you guys know, but I did. I think I've,
Yeah,
I've, I've
yeah.
shared this a few
In
times. I
video.
had a lot
Mm.
of spots on my
breakup.
face during my
Okay.
Mm.
first winter here. Black, like a million of them on my face. Do you know that Nigeria cleared? Anyway, Nigeria was part of the clearing process. Listen, it's good for me. Period. But there's something that Shayo mentioned, which was going to be a very important point, like a separate part for us to get into. So let's just get into that segment now.
Okay.
Wait, oh, I've not
Did
said anything about my 350k. Oh.
oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
That 350k to me is a good salary.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends on your location in Nigeria. We always think that everybody wants to live in Lekki or everybody wants to live in Abuja. Okay, depending on where you live, 350k is affordable. Okay, now
yeah,
obviously it's not fantastic. I will not say that. Just like you mentioned, depending on your status in Canada, 350 Nigeria might be rescuing you, and also 350k might just be the salary part. We don't know anything about if they are bulk
Packages.
payments exactly, if they are perks. I recall my very first job, and I don't want to mention it because my cousin might be watching. But my very first job was crappy salary, and guess what? I had a car. I was driving around a Honda Civic. I was fine with the salary because I didn't have to pay a dime on petrol and whatnot. And of course, I was driving around. That was, to me, it was fun. So it depends on the package that the person has. That 350 might be fine. And why do you always? I don't know why. I've been seeing it online. People have been thinking that it's a guy, it's a guy, it's a guy. What if the person has another person who is earning much more?
Yeah.
Suddenly, that money is not as bad as it looks. And even if it's the same amount of money, 350k plus 350k, that's 700k. That rent that you're talking about, that two-bedroom flat, might suddenly be something that they will be able to pay off in 1.5 months. Okay, and again, it depends on where they are living. So people, it's easy for us to just isolate things and say, what
Yeah.
can you possibly buy 350k? And I don't think we should do that. Again, if the people in Canada that are saying 350k is bad, why? Because they have converted it and say
The
that that's like
money.
$600. Hell no, I'm not gonna. No, 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 no. I know people right now. They are driving around in Lagos. They don't want 350k. They have 250k. They have 200k. They are not dead. They
Yeah.
are.
Of
I don't
course.
know how they are doing it though. And please, and this is not me saying this. They are using iPhone. And whatnot. So,
That's the
but again,
hustling spirit.
yeah,
You
again,
have to
like I
hustle.
said, there might be other parts to it, but I think it's unfair for us to just say, well, a guy earns 350k and he has to provide for his family or for himself on that budget. His wife, whether he might even have a wife here in Canada who's fine, who's taking care of the kids, and he looked at it like, you know what, how much do I need to contribute in terms of our cost? $500. You know what, I'll be able to save $500 per month based on XYZ. I don't know. So to me, 350k is fine, and may God be with that person. The person's problem is more than the money is collecting. There are other problems that he needs to focus on, not 350k. Okay, that's all for me.
okay, thank you. And to be honest, I agree with that. Like, I think it's this is one person earning 350k. If they're single, a lot of people in the comments have said, oh, if it's a single person, it's okay. So the assumption should be that the person's partner, if they have a partner, should also be making something that would increase their household income, right? So you guys in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my thought process. This is one person. I'm seeing a lot of family man, family man. Family man will shall have family woman. Like
Abi.
that should be earning
That, that,
something
that, that, that's
too.
why I said it's unfair that people are looking at it from the guy's angle. They're like,
Yes,
the
yes.
woman is supposed to just collect out of that 350k. Come on now, hey Joe now, Abba.
Like,
Okay.
okay.
So
All
sorry
right.
for interrupting you. I
It's a
know
no.
that you
It's a
want
No,
great
to.
no,
balance.
no.
It's a great balance.
It's important to say, and here's the part that me I feel like a lot of people that move back forget conveniently to talk about, and it's about passport. I see a lot of people, online with these stories that say, "Oh, I moved back, I moved back, I moved back," and it's like, okay, awesome, but do you have your dual citizenship though?
They don't never tell people that, and they will come in and pretend as if they are one of them.
And I feel like that's just not balance. I feel like that's just not balance. Like, provide balance, I beg you. Can you move back without your passport? Now, this story said the person has been here for 2 years and the person is planning to move back in a year. We all know that if this person came as a permanent resident, by 3 years, you've already met your requirement for citizenship. You can apply and go. That is different from somebody who is just like, oh, I moved to Canada and Canada is not working for me. I'm not making it here. I have a job offer there. I'm packing my load and I'm gone. please, is it different or is it not different?
Like the
Which is
passport hold. Okay, child.
Yes,
no, I
like
wanted her, I wanted her to say who she wanted to go
Oh,
first,
okay.
but I'm happy to
no,
go. I think
anyone,
I
yes.
was clear on about my personal experience and my personal decision on this matter, so I won't talk about myself. I'll talk about people I know. So I know several people that moved back to Nigeria. I know people, most people. So I don't, in fact, I only know one person that moved without the Canadian passport. So almost every other person I know, the passport was key. I get my pali, I can go back. In fact, some people where I work, many people just take like 4 years. There's like leave of absence, take 4 years off work, come here, qualify, you can go back and continue work. It's not a problem, you
Are they
know.
still
But
there? Are they still back home, or have they
uh,
returned again? Are they
I
still
know
in
people
Nigeria?
that went and came back. I know people that left their family and went, so
Yeah.
there are different variations. But I know many people that went and are still back home. But I know this one person that went back without qualifying for her
Passport.
citizenship, and it was main. I don't want to use the word mental health because it's thrown around a lot, and it's not like she had any mental issues, but she just couldn't cope with it. She just couldn't take it anymore. She just said, you know what, I can't be here. If I stay here, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. And so she moved back, even though, everybody encouraged her, okay, stay for a bit and go back. But then she never came back and she lost her PR. And she didn't, for her at that time, it was just too much for her. She couldn't be here anymore. And so she moved back, So I know someone that did that. And I haven't reached out to her recently to say, but at least up until when I knew, she never regretted her decision. She was happy to be back there. And she would always say, you people that are going, that kind of thing. So she was very cynical about people going. She's one to always like discourage people from going, especially if you're single, you don't have the family, you don't have like friends and families to support you. She always says, don't go. But I know she moved back without her passport and she's very happy about her decision. She has no regrets. So I just wanted to share
Wow.
that balance.
Which is why
Wow.
I said earlier that your relationship status also might kind of make this conversation different for different people. And I before I even said she's single, I figured out that she was probably single. That's why it was one easy for her to just say she's packing her bags and going. I think for people that are married, if one of the spouses decides to pack, you have to consider the kids. You have to consider a whole lot of things. Okay, and I've been told by some people that Canada could be a lonely place. Please note, I could argue for 1 hour and tell you that Canada is not a lonely place. I could say that it is your fault for not meeting people. At the same time, I've also heard people, and this is something that there are other personal stuff that have happened to me or people that I really know that are close to me, whereby you're single, and just because of someone like that or what they think about what's happening in Canada, they will say they don't want to move to Canada because it's difficult to get a boyfriend in Canada or something funny. And I keep asking people that, okay, the Lagos that you are in, where is the boyfriend that you are getting? These are all those guys that don't mean well to you and whatnot. That it could, wherever you are, terrible boys, or like they call them, fuck boys are available. You actually put in the work. I think the dating scene has changed and people have not changed with it. So for you to be successful, whether in Canada, US, UK, or even Nigeria, you have to probably change your style from what a whole lot of people have been did in the past 5, 10 years and whatnot. And yes, I know people. I know somebody that actually she was single in Canada and decided to and met somebody in Nigeria. And you know the usual story, like, oh, be careful. Nigerian guys might be using you to get pali or all those kind of stuff. And she moved to Nigeria. She got married in Nigeria, stayed there. When she got pregnant and she was almost due, she came to Canada to give birth. And the two of them came and they are back in Nigeria right now. All things being equal, she's having fun and whatever. And which is why some of these things too is also very, very personal to different people. That mental health part, I tell people, if you cannot surround yourself with people that you know or that will kind of give you the kind of support that you require, please be my guest. But you don't have to go to Nigeria. You can always go somewhere else too. So, but the Nigerian situation, the Nigerian environment comes with its own challenges. People might come, as somebody said, mosquitoes or security
Hmm.
or a whole lot of stuff. Yes, the same thing goes abroad too. Not necessarily mosquitoes, even though there are mosquitoes in Canada. Yes, there are mosquitoes in Canada. But people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but security might also be different. Imagine if you're in the US, for instance. Uh, well, people in Canada think US is like a like has absolutely no security. Only people in Canada believe so. People are in Nigeria believe US is still El Dorado, fantastic place to live in and whatnot. But different people have different reasons or how things affect them. But I keep saying this: you also have to change. The game has changed itself. People need to adjust. People need to realize that okay, this is how things are and whatnot. And I tell people, somebody mentioned something around the social aspect. Maybe they are used to going out on Thursdays or Fridays, maybe like a couple of times a week or Owambe. You probably will not get Owambe, okay? When I was in London, maybe because London has a whole lot more Nigerians, they actually have a lot of party. There's always one house party or the other or proper party.
But there is
If
though. If you live in Toronto, at least I
Wait
got to
now,
a
I
few
am
O and
coming
bears
there
now.
now. Yes, yes. So if you're in Toronto, but remember, you have to know people for you to be invited.
Yeah.
So, and which is why I said you need to find. So when I came to when I moved here to Calgary, I probably didn't know more than maybe like 3 people or 4 people, and it's and right now, I don't know anybody. I probably know like 200 people or more, and that is just maybe like the somebody in the family. So I'm talking about 200 people plus their household. Okay, so, but you have to put in the work to meet people. You have to put, and in terms of the professional part, and I said, like I said earlier, I spoke to somebody for almost 2 hours during the week, and I was like, you also have to realize that what am I going to go and do in Canada? Okay, do you have an idea in terms of work? Do I need to do a professional certification? I need to do that. You need to prepare yourself for that environment. Nigeria, that you're coming from, the mere fact that you're from a particular school or you have a particular certificate, you believe that you are boom, you can get the work you want. But you might have to change your style up. You might have to people that are like bankers, for instance, might suddenly become business analysts or become project managers or become cybersecurity professionals. Whatever that part has to change. But people don't want to do that. You can't be working. So, and I keep telling people, it's not just about there's nobody around you. Your professional life too can also take a toll on you that suddenly it causes a whole lot of mental issues. So if you're not successful in your career, there's a good chance that when you get home and your spouse is talking to you, you suddenly react the wrong way you're supposed to react. And suddenly, you suddenly have marital problem. Not knowing that it's because somebody spoke to you in a terrible way at work. That kind of stuff. Then the next thing, maybe your child comes from school, something happened, and you smack the child, and suddenly the teacher sees it, it becomes a police problem. So just one single event could just move to different places, cause a whole lot of things. So, and that's why I said it's not as straightforward as oh the money is good or the money is not good, oh it's too cold, or I don't have friends and whatnot. And please, when you go to Moncton, as in if you go to Moncton, there's nobody in Moncton.
Saidi, that's
So,
not true.
Moncton, there's only one outcome in Moncton. You are definitely going to be bored if you go to
That's
Moncton.
not true.
Moncton, New
You're
Brunswick.
yes, you're going to be
Moncton, New
bored.
Brunswick.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
And I was in St. John, and Moncton was supposed to be the best place in
the
New
big
Brunswick.
city.
So imagine my pain.
Fantastic. I know someone that moved from, well, this guy has moved around from Halifax to Moncton, from Moncton to Montreal, from Montreal now to Edmonton. My point is, believe me, if you have to get to a place whereby maybe there's no Uber or for you to go to your friend's house, you have to travel like several distances and whatnot. Believe me, that says a whole lot. But yes, you can have a good job, work remotely, have a good house and whatnot. But at times having that community really, really helps. And that to me, I've loved it. I know Faye, for instance, I saw her the last time I came to Ontario, and you think that I've been living in Ontario for
So
quite
do
some
you want
time.
to start? Do you want to start that one?
So you need to just develop your
Network.
network. Yeah.
Yeah.
It will help you professionally and to help you socially.
Completely agree. Kemi, do you have something to say? Somebody said you're entering their IU. They don't know
I
you're a
swear.
married woman.
I swear, let Canada enter your eye.
As in close up, in the entire close up.
Exactly.
So apparently, people. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, like just exactly what Said said and what Shayo said. You know, we talked about the whole passport and PR thing. So yeah, most people that come, I guess they don't see the whole story of I'm coming back home, but if I want, I can easily go back. They just say I'm coming back. Of which there are also people that they came back, like Cheryl mentioned, because that was just was best for them. Because the truth is that it's wherever you're happy, and happiness is relative to a lot of people. So it may not be whether I'm in Canada, whether it's quality of life. So whatever works for you, whatever rocks your boat, you go there. But I think it will be like for me now. to be, I told you about my whole PRO incident, about the whole long haul and the long wait. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I would like to like get my passport, and then whatever permanent move or whatever I'm doing on the long haul, I should do it. If you know, like not everybody even switches from permanent residency to citizenship, because for example, like my Chinese friends, they can't, because in China you can't hold dual citizenship. So you either be on PR for life, or you cancel your Chinese citizenship if you want to be a Canadian. You understand that kind of thing. So even with a PR, let's say you don't have the passport, let's say you have your PR, whatever plan you want to do, whatever works for you, you go towards it. The thing is, like, there's a group thing, right? A lot of people don't know what works for them. That's why it's good to know your why. Your why will dictate your life on the long run. If you're saying I'm staying in Canada now because I want to get passport, but that passport stuff is not working for you because you're not happy where you are or whatever, Sha, you just do you. Shayo's friend, she did her, she moved and she's happy. Some people move, they become miserable. Some people stay back, they become happy or miserable. So it's just up to you. But personally speaking, I would like to do, I mean, I did MBA there and I paid a lot of money, so I might as well collect my passport,
Mm-hmm.
because I've already spent my money there, and I even had white hair during my MBA because that certificate is just too useless. So, and also if you're coming to Canada, just know where you want to go to, because there's Canada and there's Canada. If you end up in Canada,
Well, please, what? I've never heard that line before. Please explain, I
Tell
beg.
us your own
Expatiate.
definition.
you know what, you're just more mocking that dry mountain now. If you end up in all this type of places, let me tell you, you'll be thinking of Ojo elect by every day. Because that, like you said, Moncton was the best place for us in New Brunswick. That was our happening place. Do you get? So imagine you say that Moncton is not even it. I was in New St. John. Now imagine my own fate. So some people, they just move from Nigeria, they move to somewhere they totally may not be able to. But like Said said, you have to, like, you have to work towards the, like, you have to work towards the comfort you want. Like, it may not be comfortable for you at the first time, but you just have to work towards it. So if you move to that other type of Canada, you'll be thinking of Nigeria every day, from the cold to the bottom to the three triangular movement, and you will never ever. That's why I left. When I was living there, people were asking, when I was living in St. John, people were asking, oh, won't you stay and get your PNP, because apparently it's easier in all those
Yeah.
places. But I knew that now. I can't stay here because of you. I will go somewhere else and I will get it. That's why I did the normal express entry for my PR, even if I was in
Hmm.
Canada. Because at the end of the day, I knew I wanted to secure that particular bag, because that will work for me. So even when people were asking me, my classmates are like, won't you get a job? Won't you do interview? I said, I don't want anything holding me down there. I'm moving to Ontario. That's, you people can do you here. Do you understand? But still, I still put my head on the game. And immediately I went to Ontario, I applied for my permanent residency. And, that's how it is today. So I think, like, whatever plan, like, if you're telling people move or don't move, you should tell them the whole story. Some people will say move. They won't tell you that move and get ready for something here. That's why so many people think, don't worry, when I get there like this, that dollar, I'll be plucking it from that trip. Same thing when people come to Nigeria, they don't tell people I've secured my very good bag, my most important asset there. So if you can, stay back. But to me, I think my own options, I'm securing everything first.
I completely hear you, and I personally would definitely not be moving without dual citizenship.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like there's a completely different way of life you're when you relocate back to Nigeria, knowing that you have an option to japa
exactly.
easily.
Insurance
Like, you literally can just grab your passport and you're out. Not, being in Nigeria and not really having that
option.
insurance, right? That option that is instant. You literally just book a ticket and you're out. Not, oh, I need to apply for visa. They might accept or they might reject.
I
I need
know.
to gather documents for PR. I need to do this. I need to do that. All those things gone is what you call sinu ironu. Like, how do I translate that now? That's what will make people start thinking and getting frustrated. Like, oh, I have to do this and this and this before you go to Ghana safe. So at the end of the day, for me, it's the power of the passports, the citizenship. Once you have that in your hand, you can just do whatever you want. Me, I can move back to Nigeria. I can move to Alberta and go and disturb Said in Calgary.
Wait. When you make
Come,
it
come,
sound
Said,
like
I've
I
told you
can
this
move to
many times.
Nigeria, I can move to Alberta. You make it like Nigeria and Alberta are the same level. How can you
Yes,
say that?
sir.
What are things for?
I mean, retirement plan, right? Like, retirement plan. So, but yeah, that's it so far. Do you guys have any questions or comments in the comment section that you well, I can
I
see
saw one.
comments, but
I saw one that the person was asking that can you save enough to be able to invest in Nigeria on the long run, short term, long term, and whatnot. The good news is, depending on the job you get, and like I mentioned earlier, I said the first 1 year might be a struggle. The second year, you're like trying to balance. Maybe in the third year, a lot of things will start getting soft. Of course, if things don't pan out that way, like I've mentioned, I'm not a prophet that will start that can predict everyone's future. But even if you have to put aside $500, I know we are in a group whereby we've discussed a whole lot of investment opportunities back home. There was a time when agribusiness was actually raining. I don't know if it's raining anymore, but my point is, if you earn so the amount of money that you have to put aside that you can use to do something in Nigeria, if it's about investment, think of it this way: $500 a month, for instance. Now, somebody said we should not use Aboki or something to convert to naira. Okay, but let's lie to ourselves that it's $400 to
please
400
don't
naira
even
to
bother with that because I saw it and I'm like, this
yeah,
person
no,
doesn't
no, no.
understand the reality of what is going on. You don't know what is going
I just want to make the maths easy, okay?
on.
If the exchange is $400, 400 naira to a dollar, that's rough. $500 is roughly
Saeed, I'll hold
200,000.
you up to that $400 exchange rate.
As in, I want that. I want it.
But I'm
Just
not
give me
selling
the
now.
Canadian
I'm not
dollar. You
selling.
must sell it.
You will sell that. It's a matter of time.
Okay. Let me say the truth. Okay, it's four. Let's say it's $450 to naira to a dollar. Okay, five hundred
Mhm.
dollars a month. If you put aside $500 a month, it's roughly 225,000 naira, right? Yes, 25,000 naira. Yes, the money we are talking about here is about 350k.
Hmm.
Okay, it's not really that far. So if there's a way that you can, and yes, like some people say that the bills take practically everything and they don't have anything. Okay, I think one of the biggest issues that a lot of us have, and I'm sure Peggy has something around personal finance and whatnot. But even if it's $200, even if it's $100 that you can save a month, $100 a month is 45,000 naira. Though when my village, my village might not have land, a plot of land for 45,000 naira per plot. Okay, but my point is, whatever amount you can put together in a year, even if it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a year, when you change that to naira, that's over a 1 million naira. A 1 million naira should be able to buy a plot of land in your village. So if you want to just buy one day and leave it and hope that in the next 5 years your village has a
Yeah.
university that you can suddenly it will become valuable, please note the reason I said your
This is
village
not financial advice.
exactly.
I
The
was
reason
going to jump
why
right on it once Saeed is done. So
the reason why I said your village is because I'm hoping that your family has land that they can sell to you and they will not swap you. But
Because
and this
I'm
is not a
like,
financial
in my own
advice.
village,
Whether
in my own
whether
village,
it's
I don't know that there's 1 million naira land. Sef.
so whether it's land that you want to put your money to, whatever you want to put your my point is the conversion really helps and you can put in something that you can like an investment in the future, even if it's
Yeah.
what's it called, fixed deposits, treasury bills, whatever you want to do, just to spread your risk. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah,
So
and I
I wanted to respond to that comment as well, Sahid, and just jumping on what you said because I was looking at my notes and I see that the things I haven't really talked about here today were things around money, around the higher cost of living in Canada, even though we touched on it briefly. So people just need to be aware of the much higher cost of living in Canada and access to more opportunities here, of course balance that out. But I just on what Zahid just said about saving, investing, and sending your money back home, like I said earlier, I jumped in and said no, that's not financial advice. So for those that are bent on moving back, or no, maybe bent is making using a very strong word. If you know you want to move back, it's not bad to invest in Canada. There are a lot of opportunities to invest in Canada. Or if you live in Canada, you have access to invest globally. Actually, you can invest very, very easily and effectively in the New York Stock Exchange. You can invest around the world. It's a lot easier to invest globally from Canada than it is from Nigeria. And yeah, we hope and pray that things get better in Nigeria with our currency, with our economy, and all of that. But as things are right now, it's always better to invest in a stronger currency. So you plan to move back, in 10 years or in 3 years after you have your passport, excellent. That doesn't stop you from saving and investing in Canada or around the world, knowing that your pot of cash is growing in a strong currency. And when you decide to move back to Nigeria, you can liquidate a portion of your investment at whatever exchange rate it is by then, because it most likely will not. If we want to look at what the past has said up till now and predict into the future, you can imagine that the exchange rate will not be what it is today. So I always, this is what I say to everyone. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm the finance mom on Instagram, and what I say to everyone that asks me, oh, I want to invest in Nigeria, what should I do? I always say to them, invest in Canada, invest in the US, invest in Europe, in London. Don't try to invest in Nigeria right now. But oh, I want to move, I want to have a house in Nigeria, I want to build a house. If you have your cash, you will walk into wherever, whatever part of Lagos you want to live, and buy a house when you move. So you don't need to build the house now and let it carry dust. Just invest. The most important thing is that you are building that culture of saving and investment. At the point that you want to move, if you decide to move and you do not change your mind, you can always liquidate investments anywhere in the world, and you know that you have invested in a stronger currency, and so your naira may be more valuable at that time. Of course, I don't know, naira can decide to appreciate in the future, but yeah, I think if we look at the past and the history, that's probably way to go. So I just
Yes, and
wanted to chip that in. Yeah.
thank you. That's very important. Kemi, did you have some points?
Yeah, I just have few points, and what I would say is like, no matter how much you're earning in Canada, like when I first when I first started, when I was working, like that time I was earning like, was it like 2K average a month, and I was like, okay, let me just take this one, because you want to build on that Canadian experience. So I was like, hope I can save with this one. But and another thing is like, depending on your standing in life, because for now I don't have kids and my husband was in Nigeria, so what I used to do was that every week, there used to be direct deposit from my account to my savings account. So the first week I used to take out 200, then the remaining week would be $100. So that's 500 in a month. So that's about $500 I'm saving each month. So now coming back, and that 500, it may not be much because by the time I pay my rent was like 700. That was in Ontario because I was renting with people, right? So when I got back to Nigeria, part of that money I saved, like there are some places outskirts of Lagos to Badona, they're selling land there for like, I guess 400, 500k. So that was what I did. I'm doing that. I got a land there, and those places are opening up. I can't believe it was from that city that I did that. Also, it may not be only Nigeria, because if you're going to invest in Nigeria, I'll say real estate is really a good thing right now that is blooming. Like the value of land, to be honest, in Nigeria, go, like you can come here today, the next day, next year you're in that same place, it has increased like crazily. So you can do that in Nigeria. You can invest in land, and whenever you have time, you can build outrightly and you can sell it. Also in Canada again too, like you can invest in their real estate. If you're ripe for a mortgage, you can buy a property, you can rent it out and stuff like that. You can invest in trucks and so many things, or you can buy stocks, whatever. Because I'm not really good in the financial space in Canada, but I know that there are little things you can do no matter how little you earn. Like $50, $100 goes a long way. As far as you're not touching it, by the end, it may be 5,000, maybe 6,000. So yeah, that's it. I think we shouldn't just look at only investing in Nigeria. We should look at investing anywhere that you can invest, stock, whatever, crypto, anything. Shall just be investing, no matter how small your money is. Like me, I was like, hey God, 2K, 1 8, what would I save from this kind of money I do? But you don't have to try, Sha. That's why someone needs to know where they are in life to understand how you need to move.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Kemi. And it's a very important point that you raised. You were living in Toronto
Yeah,
or Mississauga, which is
yeah.
just right
It's
by
basically,
Toronto,
yeah,
and you were paying $700 a month
yes,
because you probably got what, a three-bedroom
yes,
apartment,
yes,
and you had flatmates.
yes,
That is something that people wouldn't consider, but yet they can't afford anything more than that.
yeah.
So you're not making a whole lot of money in Canada, but
Mm-hmm.
you're bent on, living
Spending,
in a particular city and living alone. That is the fastest way to deplete your money.
yeah,
Whatever salary you think you're making, that's the fastest way to deplete it. If you cannot increase your income to ensure that your accommodation doesn't take your entire salary away, or even half of your salary away, then there's a problem. Like that means you're not living within your means. And that is one thing that I've noticed with some of these, I'm returning to Nigeria, I'm returning, not people that are already made, though,
Yeah.
people that came to Canada to fagburu, as in to hustle, and they feel like, oh, I can't even cover my expenses and save with the salary that I'm making here. I'm moving back. Well, it doesn't work that way. You have to cut your coat, right?
Yeah.
And you have to always look for ways to improve your income. You have to look for multiple streams of income. You don't just rely on one if that one is not enough. Even if it's enough, you want more.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yes.
Now, somebody asked a question. Yeah, do you want to go ahead, Chaya?
No, so yeah, I just wanted to quickly say something about healthcare because I know this is one thing that everyone in Nigeria that wants to come to Canada will be like, oh, I want to come to Canada for the healthcare. I want to come to Canada for the healthcare. And one of the reasons, it wasn't the reason I went to Nigeria, definitely, but one of the major things I needed to do in Nigeria when I went back for the 2 months I went back for was healthcare. And then everybody's like, but you're coming from Canada now. Why do you have so many procedures? Like, oh, I wanted my kids to do this, I wanted my kids to do that. And I said to everyone, so I gave birth to my son in March. And when I left end of September, except at delivery, like the pediatrician that delivered my son, no pediatrician had ever seen my son. It was just the family doctor. And then I also had, a different medical procedures I wanted to get done that I just simply couldn't get done because, Canada is fantastic because, it's healthcare system that's available to everyone. But then the drawback of that is that there's no private healthcare, unlike Nigeria, whereby if you're willing to pay for it, you can get premium healthcare. There's no like not like there's no premium healthcare. It's available to everyone, but then there's a queuing system. Some things are considered more urgent than the
Okay.
others, and you might have to wait for procedures that in Nigeria you'd be like, you just walk into your doctor's office, you go take your baby to the hospital, you see a pediatrician that has been consulting for 20 years, that's the person that is seeing you every week, so it's really different. So that's also something to put on the table and let people in Nigeria just know that, that's one consideration for a lot of people. Some people are just frustrated. I know people that like just go across the border to the US because they want to get something done when it comes to healthcare, and they simply can't get it done in Canada. So they just go to the US, pay for it, and come back. So that's one major driver as well for people. That for me, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to Nigeria. I'm going to do this. Oh my goodness. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I need to get this done because I was already here and I saw how tough it was to see specialists in different areas. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
also drop that in so that people would know. Yeah, that's one sensitivity around moving back or staying here.
Completely true. And this is something that I say sometimes. And sometimes when I say it, it just sounds like, people like someone is not grateful or this or that. But on my channel, I try to provide balance. As I'm telling you that Canada is amazing, and I'm also telling you that the healthcare system here is, it needs some work. And the government acknowledges that. So if they can acknowledge that, there's no way you want to be the defender of Canada past the government that knows exactly what is wrong with the system. They know that there's issues with the healthcare system, the shortage of healthcare workers, right? And that's why it's much easier for healthcare workers that are trained in the US, UK, New Zealand, and Australia to relocate to Canada. Like Canada is really trying to poach them because we need them. And that the time, some people wait 2 years before they can get an appointment for their surgery. But that 2 years, person, like anything could have
Die.
happened. If it just, So we're laughing about it, but it's real. But at the same time, they also have their, the way they prioritize what they think is more critical versus what they think is not critical. You might think your own is critical, but the next person to you, his head is almost off the neck, and you need to attend to that person first. So at the end of the day, everybody is equal. So it's not as if, oh, if you have money, you just pay and they do it, they have attend to you first.
Yeah.
No, that kind of scenario, I personally feel like the US is, a better option for healthcare for people who can afford it. I know that in the US right now they have issues with affordability of their healthcare, but I think the quality is really good. Now, one thing that I wanted us to talk about before we go, and I can see a lot of comments, but this one I wanted to mention because this person that made this tweet also said it. They said people in Canada don't tell you this the negative sides of life in Canada. Now, like I said, I try to provide a balance, the good and the bad. But people in Nigeria, please, and people watching from your home country, do you really want to hear the bad part? Tell me, answer in the comment section. Do you really
Of
want to
course.
hear the bad part? Because I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, if you say anything small, like I mean, you mentioned this earlier, they'll say, ah, don't worry, you come to Nigeria,
Yeah,
make
let's be
another person
going.
go. You come." I see it in Insta blog comment section. I'm always on the
I
comment section
saw.
of those kind of posts. Look
I
at
don't,
it, and
I
they're
don't,
like,
I don't, I don't think there are people are ready to even hear the bad side of any side. They just want to leave Nigeria because they know that there's so many bad sides on that side. So
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
But like
but
you mentioned it. Okay, sorry, please.
but with everything in life, there are no bad sides. So, but if they want to listen, maybe the guy is listening. Oh, there are a lot of yes is coming up. So yeah, they want to hear the bad side. Do you want to help us out by starting with telling us the bad side? Considering you are enjoying
Me?
Nigeria right now. What's
I
that?
see you. Okay, you already mentioned like part of it about. So everything has pros and cons, honestly. Like we mentioned the healthcare. As much as like the healthcare quality is good, like all those that time there's a lot of backlog. There's this time wasting. Like in Nigeria, you need if something happens to you, you can easily just go to a private hospital. You can pay and you get attended to the way you want it. So then, for example, I broke my hand one time when I was doing my master's program. Right? Like I broke my hand and I was holding the hand like this. So I went to the clinic. I was in the E&R and I waited there for 3 hours. Let me even tell you how I healed. There was a man
Wait,
beside
Kemi, please
me.
wait to pause. Oh. 3 hours is very short for emergency
In
room. Oh, sure
short,
you know.
oh, wait, now let me
I
not
just
tell you.
wanted
My
to put that
eyes,
in there so
as I
that
was
they
like,
know.
Wait,
I
oh, it
didn't know
depends on
because
location.
Wait,
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 wait, wait,
Said,
wait,
wait.
wait.
We'll
Aha.
that.
Bro, there's nobody in New Brunswick. Why am I waiting this long? That was how I was in the Hanaru. I was not holding hand. I was like, I mean, these people, they are not seeing my hand. I'm busy too black. Then, then there was this man that was even beside me. He's always on Nigerian me. You see what? Thank God for that man and the clinic. His own talking made me heal by force. He kept on talking and toasting and doing all sorts of things. I was like, you know what? I think my hand is healed. Let me just be going home. The doctor, everything. Do you understand? Like I waited and I was like, I used to hear this whole wait thing. I never knew it was real. So like that healthcare on that part, that's why you see some of all these Canadians, they travel to well because what's the Caribbean or whatever to go
Yeah.
and get like that healthcare. So that's one thing that I know that I'm not so pleased with because if we die and it's your dead body will be rolling there for emergency. Like I will wake up and slap somebody. That's how I felt that day. And apart from that, I think healthcare that delay. Secondly, this one is not really a bad thing, but if you know you don't like law and order, just stay in Nigeria. If you want to come and park in the middle of the road, just stay in Nigeria. If you want to be buying gala and throwing the paper on the road, stay in Nigeria. That's the con. You can't be doing that here.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's just one thing. Then another thing, like I would say, like but Said loves the weather anyway. But that weather too depend. So if you do your research, where am I going to? Look for if you don't really like cold, maybe you should think of places like Vancouver and thereabouts. So know where you're going to because the cold too is another con. Like when I go back to Nigeria, you know how happy I was. Like I just wanted to buy something from there. I just wore bomb shorts and slippers and I was just walking. There I wear boots, wear this, wear that. Even wear I don't even know wear mask on my face. So that's another thing. Like the weather too. You need to think about it. So it's also good and it's also bad. So just different things. If you don't have patience and you can't go through transition period of where you need to clean floors or do some menial jobs. So I would say maybe you should stay back too because you must, not everybody's lucky. Most people have to go through the whole transition period. So if you're not that, if you don't have that, like say patience and stuff, maybe you may come from a place they are paying 1 million and like, oh me, come and be cleaning. What rubbish is all this? So that's another pro and that's the con. If you're not ready, you just stay back. But basically, and just to know, I hope you're someone that another thing is like here is not really Canada is not a communal place. You know how they say in Nigeria it takes a child, a community to train a
Village to
child
raise a
and
child.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like here is your own, like do your thing, let everybody do their thing, mind yourself, personal space and stuff like that. So it's not like Nigeria that people, good morning, well done, sir. All those things. You can't find such, like, it's not that easy for Canadians. They are friendly, but they have their levels to it. And another thing here, you need to respect yourself. All these ones, you people go out and you just touch somebody dancing and doing all this nonsense. You can't come and stay in Nigeria if that's what you want to come and be
Is that
doing.
supposed to be part of the bad side of
Yes,
Canada?
now. Yes, because Nigeria men, you don't come and be dancing. You don't know where you are.
Oh my goodness.
So let me explain the part about the healthcare. Okay, there are different sides to it. With regards to the ER part, there was a time that I was watching football. Okay, maybe I should even before I even get there. One of the bad parts is you mentioned touching somebody at the club. I was not. One of the bad parts is that if you liked the EPL so much, if you like the EPL so much, you might have to wake up at 5:30 a.m. to watch a football match. This
Yes.
kind
Sorry,
of weird.
I can hear music. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
It's Buju's manager now. It's Buju's manager.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So basically, and I woke up that day. I was watching the football. My two boys were having were playing, and boom, one of them had a cut on his eye, and I had to rush them to just like you said. It's not Nigeria that whereby is it money talks or the fact that we have too many hospitals or whatnot. But the fact is, is not every hospital you go to. Well, there's not every clinic you go to that you can take someone can go there for emergency or whatnot. So
Yeah.
there are a few of them around. Anyway, we just like you, we probably we waited about 1 hour. I didn't like the questions that they were asking me, and that's the part that I'm worried about. The racism part, and I use this for a reason. In Canada, they are very, very polite. The problem is that the politeness is get
Low
comma,
key.
get underline, get quote and
Low
whatnot.
key.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I also call it tribal. I also say there's also tribalism in Nigeria. So whatever feeling that you are thinking that that I'm a black man, that they don't respect black people abroad or in Canada, please know that depending on the circle you are in, they might not respect you as a Yoruba man, an Igbo
Does
man, or even
police
Hausa man.
respect us? They
Exactly.
respect normal
So
Good
And
so
question.
that's
so
what I say about this. Oh,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to go to
That
Canada
yeah,
and
yeah,
be a
discrimination,
second
you will
class
yeah,
feel it
yeah.
citizen. It's
anyway
like,
in
am I a second
Nigeria.
class citizen in Nigeria? Am I
Yeah,
a first class citizen in Nigeria? I don't think
exactly,
so.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. So that
Yes.
one,
So,
yeah.
so, 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 but in terms of healthcare, I personally, my family has benefited for the fantastic healthcare that we have in Canada. Yes, it might take a while. If you are due for a procedure, they'll put you on a waiting list that you might have
Oh
to. It could be
gosh.
6 months. It could be 3 months,
It could
and
be
No,
two
hopefully,
2 years.
years.
2 years.
yes.
I know
Hopefully,
someone 2 years.
you don't die before that time. But I
Hey
don't
God,
know.
oh.
There will always be an outlier who somehow, after waiting for so long, the person things got bad. But luckily, what we had to wait for were not really urgent stuff. It only gave us and them time to figure out what we're going to do. So, but in terms of the healthcare, I recall when I landed in Canada, Alberta was probably one of the few provinces that you get free healthcare from day one. Ontario, you
Yes.
have to wait for a few weeks or months or whatever. So,
Pre-COVID, but now with
yeah,
COVID, you can get it
yeah,
instant.
COVID. So who knows? It might even go back to normal self after COVID. So,
We'll
but oh
see.
wait, what's after COVID? Is there going to be after? Well, anyway, that's entirely. Anyway, but my point is, in terms of healthcare, that's it. But my own challenge is just like I said. In some cases, I find well in the beginning I found it difficult to interpret the message I was getting or the vibe I was getting from my co-workers or my bosses. And one needs to be very, very careful because communication styles are totally different. Whereas in Nigeria, you can, in some cases, depending on your organization, you can be a straight talker. You can just say things the way they are. In Canada, you probably have to be diplomatic the way you say it, just like they are being diplomatic the way they are saying it. So they are managing you just like you have to manage them. So for people that are used to direct communication, they are going to struggle. And in some cases, you probably not even know until they've typed your letter, they've given you, and
Hmm.
you've even signed and said thank you without knowing that it was the letter that you got. So that
Hmm.
might be a problem. You mentioned something about going to the club and touching somebody. You don't. I've heard about some interesting examples whereby people try to imagine you seeing rain is falling, you see somebody that is walking in the rain, and you stop here like, oh, do you need the ride so that just to get the person out of the rain? And the person
Hmm.
says, as he runs from you, that kind of stuff. So it's a different society. So just again, like I said in the beginning, you have to adapt. You have to understand the social norms. You have to adapt the professional norms, and you have to kind of, understand the social norms and professional norms, then adapt to it. Because if you don't, you might suddenly find yourself on the wrong side of things. And that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. The cold is there, just like you said, and I won't lie about it. I think for now, I've just gotten used to it. There was a time, and I'm going to make, because people are thinking that Calgary is El Dorado if you're in Nigeria. There's a reason why they are not in Calgary. But in December, this last December, during Christmas, during Christmas, the temperature was as bad as minus 30. If you don't know what minus 30 is, think of it this way: your freezer at home, that
Mhm.
big deep freezer, the box, is probably maybe like worst case scenario minus 5. Yes. So it's colder outside. I know there was a time that some people, even when you buy pepper, you buy all those things, you can put it on your balcony, you put it outside. And it will be frozen and nothing will happen to it. It was so frozen. I wanted to buy a foil. And I brought out, and somehow the card for my card pin and whatever. I was struggling with it, so I removed my glove and tried to put in all the details that I needed to put in there. When I went back into the car, honestly, it was as if my hands were like shrinking, like they were dry. This is minus, this is like minus 25, but maybe it felt like minus 40 degrees. Yes. So a whole lot of people struggle, especially some of us that also have our parents coming over and whatnot. Many of
Yeah.
our parents struggle. As I am right now, even though it's 2 degrees. In my mind, today's weather is good. I'm saying, I'm like, thank God, today's weather is fantastic and whatnot. Uh
Mhm.
Faye is probably experiencing minus 10 right now, but she's trying to pretend as if it's not minus 10 when she's
That's
right
why
now.
I'm inside. I'm not
So
outside.
so so so
Monica
so
gets inside.
so yes, so yes. Now, so the same thing goes for. And please remember, now the other side is this: it's always easy for us to think about ourselves. Am I going to settle? Is my husband going to settle? The kids, people always forget that the same way we are struggling to settle is the same way as our kids are struggling to settle. I'm going to use
Yeah.
a good example here, and you guys don't like it. My son went to school and was plucking leaves from the flowers that they have in the playground, and boom, somebody caught him and reported him to the principal. I had to go to the school to have a conversation with the principal to talk about why my son is plucking leaves from the flowers around the school. And the simple reason she gave me was that if every kid did that, there will be absolutely no flowers in the school. So it is bad to do that. Now remember, like I said, it's a different environment, and there are some things that you have to get used to. Be careful not to be careful. You might react the wrong way in some cases, but after a while, you get to understand and you get to like adjust. Nigerians like things happening fast. You didn't mention that one. Nigerians like things happening fast. You want to go and get your passport, you pay somebody. You want to go and get your driver's license, you pay somebody.
The
To fast
healthcare
track
one
things,
self is part of that
to
behavior.
fast track things, to fast track. Yeah, yeah, the airport, fast track. Please, if you like fast tracking, I've come to realize one thing now. Where are you in a hurry to go to? Where? Whatever is going to happen, you're going to get there. Everybody on the queue at the airport will get on the plane. Everybody at the petrol station will also get fuel. It is not going to finish before you get to the front, whereby you are shunting lines and whatnot. So, if there's anything, Canada kind of somebody's this thing is echoing. After a while, Canada kind of teaches you how to be patient, and good things come to those who wait. Well, that's what I've
Yeah,
learned to.
that's what they
So
say. Yeah, great points. You
Okay.
guys, what was that, child?
No, I wanted to mention other cons, but if you're trying to wrap up,
No,
that's
no,
fine
no,
as
no,
well.
no. Please go ahead. Go
No, I just
ahead.
wanted to say so. I know we mentioned it in passing, but I wanted to my top on my list of cons in Canada would be the cost of living. Canada is very, very expensive. Someone in the comment section mentioned about housing cost in Ontario. So that's
Mm.
probably Ontario specific, but it is really, really expensive. And that's usually one of the major stressors for people when they just land. You know, you come with your proof of fund, you don't have a lot of cash, no, money is not coming in, you are still job hunting, and then you have to pay rent, you have to buy groceries, you have to pay for heating, like, and these are things that you cannot avoid. They're extremely important, extremely mandatory expenses, you know. So the cost of living in Canada is very, very high, and it's really important that you know what this is, so that it doesn't come to you as a surprise. You're not wondering, but we buy yam now 1,000 naira, why is yam now 5 400 1,000 naira, why is it now $5 400 or something, you know. So Canada, the cost of living in Canada is high. and taxes is also very high. The tax rate in Canada is high, so you think you're earning a lot, but then you're paying a lot of taxes and you're spending a lot on your bills and all. So that's something to sort of mentally prepare for. Truth is, if you plan well, if you are disciplined, you are frugal, you can still have some surplus when you settle in, like Sahid had said. But that shock us for many people. It's like, why am I spending so much? It seems like I'm just spending and spending. If you are someone that struggles to spend, you might struggle with that. Another thing, and this is something I say a lot, and people are like, Shayo, explain. I think when so now there's a difference between standard of living and quality of life. I completely agree that the quality of life in Canada is much higher than in Nigeria. Like, that's not debatable. But for a few people that migrate, for a number of people, and from my personal experience, sometimes I feel like, and I know a number of people that feel this way, that we have this that you can have a higher standard of living in Nigeria than in Canada. So, like I said, quality of life, when it comes to things like the quality of air you breathe, the healthcare system, the systems, the governance, corruption, all of those things that guarantee quality of your life. It's a lot better in Canada, I agree. But when it comes to standard of living, I can say, like, I can give many examples of why some people feel like the standard of living in Nigeria for them may have been higher than what they have to do in Canada. And so many people are just struggling with having to do all of the DIY, trying to do things yourself, or paying through your nose simply because you had a leak, all of those things that you just get a plumber to fix, or trying to mount a TV. You have to pay maybe $300 just because you want to get a TV mounter, something that would even come as free mounting when you buy a TV in Nigeria. And a number of all these things that have to do with some. I can't give all the examples around standard of living, but in Nigeria, you can generate your electricity at a lot lower cost. You can, yeah, we say Nigeria is insecure, but people pay for security and then they feel secure in their space. So they feel like they can actually pay a fraction of the cost for similar or even much better standard of living, because at least they will not pack snow. At least they may not have to, you know, take out their garbage themselves. So many things around the standard of your actual day-to-day living. Some people feel it's better in Nigeria versus in Canada, but then I don't think anyone can argue about the quality of life. And for people that feel like quality of life is important to them, having a much much higher, like, what do they call the rate at which it's likely you will die. I can't remember what the word is not coming to me right now, but all of those things that
What,
um
life expectancy?
life expectancy, all of the things that feed into your quality of life. If that is important to you, then Canada is probably the place, or maybe a more developed country.
Yes, I agree. Honestly, that life expectancy portion of it is everything for me. Like, almost, there's some people that in Nigeria every week is malaria. There's no kind of insecticide or net that you want to use. You're always falling sick. So different people with their different, systems, their immune system, their way of life, the way they want to live, the way they want their families to live. So it really, really just depends, and it's a personal decision.
Yeah, and I
So I
feel
guess
like
we
that.
all, yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
go
I feel
ahead.
like even that life expectancy stuff in Nigeria, it's not even all about like personal health. It's like so many unnecessary things like maybe let me not
Trailer
drive
will
today,
follow
then
your
one
car.
trailer not go and follow me. Oh. Let me not go enter one chance now. God, they use my leg and do something. Oh. All these very unnecessary
Yeah,
small small
even the
things.
suit
Let me
in
not
Port
go on the road.
Harcourt.
Let police not misfire.
Mm-hmm.
Or look at the
Straight
oil bombing
bullets,
thing. You
Stray
get
all
all
of
these
bullet.
those
I saw
things.
that.
straight
Yeah.
bullet,
I saw the
unnecessary
news
things.
that
Oh.
just 2 days ago,
That,
someone was
that,
sleeping inside their house and stray
and
bullet just killed them.
that's
How?
it. So
Or
Why?
that's
someone
why
Why
is
you get
building a
justification?
house, a high-rise building, and then they
it,
did not do the
it
right
just
foundation,
falls
and then
down.
the house
Yeah,
collapsed.
there's
You know
All of
there's
those
so
why
things.
much.
sometimes they say when you move your prayer point to change. Honestly, I was a witness to that. The first this one chance I was a witness to all those ones. So when you move,
Yeah.
honestly, your prayer point will change. The things that will cut your life, yes, yes, it will change because
Hmm.
you have no less things to worry about. Malaria said is the least. Malaria will heal. We will take this on. The next day we are back. It's in our blood. But all these
Hmm.
unnecessary things, and it's because of the structure of the government. The government,
Hmm.
Nigerians are good, but you see this government, people that keep going there, I don't know these devils, but that's what it is.
Yeah, someone said, but stray bullet happens in Canada too. Yes, and
That's
all these
the
things that
most
we're
rare.
saying, they all happen in all
Everywhere.
countries. But when you're talking about
Everyday occurrence.
like how frequently it occurs, it's not the same. If it happens here, it's making the news and somebody's getting fired, somebody's getting, like, a police department is getting sued, something is happening, right?
Liability.
Because that stray bullet was from a police station, for Christ's sake. I don't want to swear, but like, the rate at which these things happen is different, and it's
Yeah,
also
I think
different
the
because
quality of life is
there's
unquestionable.
data, right? If things happen like that, there's data for it that is accessible by the public. If it happens in Nigeria, who is counting to know that this is a pandemic or this is an epidemic? Nobody's counting. It's just happening, and that's it. Anyway, you guys, it's almost 2 hours. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. I know you're all very busy people, so thank you for coming on and talking about this entire thing. This topic came up yesterday and it was a really hot topic, and I was like, okay, you know what, let's talk about it and let's use the opportunity to let people out there know what is happening, why people might be moving back. And truly, a lot of Canadian immigrants move back for different reasons, but like we've said, if you decide to move back, please make sure you have your passport in hand, so that in case anything happens wherever you're going, you can always take your passport, book a flight, and you're off.
Many
you
of
know
them go back self. Many of them even they go back to Canada. They're like, oh shit, I made a mistake. They go back to Canada.
So yes, that's just it. I'm glad that we really had fun with this topic while just impacting knowledge and letting people know, what is really happening out here, and what's how you can compare, right? Not just direct comparison. And also the second side of these stories, not just, oh, somebody moved back and that was it. There's usually so many different other assumptions that we can make, from those stories, to highlight the second side. It's not just upping and leaving. It's a lot of things that led up to that, and a lot of things that motivated that decision. But you guys, any final words?
Well, me, I would just say that no matter where you are, whether it's Canada or Nigeria, like wherever you are, if you're happy there, if you're good, you stay there. And if you decide to move, know your why. Don't just say because everybody's moving. Japa, I want to move too. Know your why, do your research. I mean, people move for their kids, their family. Or if you know you're someone that, oh, I'm not even interested in having kids, I'm not interested in having family. Well, what do you? If you're in Nigeria, if you're happy, you're anywhere, fine. If you decide to go to Canada, be patient, do what you need to do, know you're in a new place, adapt, whatever it is you need to do, transition, whatever, just love where you are. But what matters most is your happiness. It doesn't matter if you need to move to US, just because people are doing it doesn't mean you should do it. And even if you're in Nigeria, you're earning 1 million and you're not happy and you don't take it, then do what you need to do. But make sure you do whatever you do it for you. Don't do it because people are doing it. This one, you'll never be happy. And that's just on that. So wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, just do you and have fun. That's it.
Thank you, Kikemi. Shaya, do you want to go ahead with your final words?
Yes, thanks, Faye. Thanks for having me. I had fun. Thanks a lot. And I think I'll wrap up where I started out, which is around number one, like Kemi said, knowing your why, but that planning makes a huge difference. Researching, planning makes a huge difference in the quality of your life and the probability that you will go back if you didn't want to, the probability that you will be pushed to the world to want to go back. So it's really important. I want to encourage anyone that wants to move to Canada or to move anywhere around the world from Nigeria, do your research. Do a lot of research. I remember when I was going to move, like when I started applying for PR in 2018, and then all the way till we moved finally in 2020, I was constantly like reading, researching, watching 1 million YouTube videos, planning it out. And I can say, looking back at the last 1.5 years that we've been here, it has pretty much worked out like to plan, simply because well, number one is a lot of God's grace and and kindness of a lot of people, but beyond that, it's a lot of planning. You can't leave things to chance. You can't just imagine that things will happen, let's just go vibes and inshallah everything will be okay. Go, approach it, with a lot of planning. Plan for it, know your whys, so when you want to feel down, when you want to be discouraged, when the jobs are not coming as you wanted it to, when things are not clicking like you thought it would click, remember your whys. Why are you here? Why did you decide to do this? And stay motivated by your whys. Eventually things, smoothing out and become better. So I want to encourage you. I think Canada is an amazing place. I'm team Nigeria, but I've had an amazing time here, and I think it's a great place for a lot of people. All the people that were saying, how do we stop the brain drain? So far, how many people? I don't know if 20,000 Nigerians have relocated to Canada in the
Hmm.
last 3 years. So it seems like it's a lot, but it's not actually a lot. We have over 200 million Nigerians. So you will not be the one causing the brain drain. If you want to move, please go for it. And if you want to stay in Nigeria, by all means, you can do great anywhere you choose to be. So just do
Hmm.
you, like Kemi encourage, know your why, plan very well, and the sky is your limit, and you can do amazing right here or anywhere you choose to go. Thanks for having me, Faye, and I had a great time.
Thank
Thank
you for
you
coming,
too. Thank you,
Saeed.
all of you.
Final word.
I like what everybody has said. Do your research. Do your own research. Your own research. Half the time, people want other people to do their research for them and convince them why they should move to Canada. But do your own research. Listen to people that are in your field. Listen to people that are maybe your friends that you probably have the same family values. And if possibly be more like in the same career line, that kind of stuff. So that it's easy for you to kind of not necessarily judge based on their experience, but at least for you to get a few points that would guide you in whatever you're trying to do. But please remember, it is hard to find a malashita in Canada. Oh.
Come to
Kemi,
Toronto, you get better amala.
not a malashita. Oh, it's different. Oh, the one that has sweat.
Olaoluwa,
Come to
I swear to
Toronto.
the
There's
one that
nice
has sweat, and the one
shawarma,
that
amala,
and proper
Olaoluwa,
everything.
firewood,
firewood
ewedu,
jollof.
Engoy and
alabula. I
agege
beg,
bread,
see,
everything.
because Kemi is eating it now. Oh, me, I'm preparing
Ah,
Kemi's
how do
breakfast.
you know?
Whether you know, you top it when you come back to this Canada. Anyway, but my own is that things will change, and just like whether it's Nigeria or wherever you go to, but give it your best shot. Okay, if you can move, when you move, give it your best shot, and so that you won't come here 1 year after, then you are disappointed and you now rush back and whatnot. Do a very very good research, and when you even commit to it, give it your best shot, because it's not just about you. If you are a family person, and even if you are a single person too, it might be where you find your future partner if you
Real.
intend to marry. If not, my point is you can always move to another country again. That's another thing.
Yes.
So you coming to Canada does not mean that it's going to be a failure. You get your experience from there, and you can use that to move to, I don't know, Somalia or wherever you want to move to at the end of the day, or Australia. Somebody was mentioning that in Australia and whatnot. So think about it, because that's the way life is. It might not always work out, even if you do your research, if you have the best plans and whatnot. But give it another shot. Keep knocking on that door. Stay hungry. I keep saying that. Stay hungry. There's something better out there. Okay.
Thank you guys. You guys, please say thank you to our guests. They really, really, in
Ah,
2 hours in Canada is not easy. Oh. 2 hours in Canada is money. Oh, you
2 hours
guys.
Nigeria is midnight.
it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday.
True, true. Kemi, it's
It's a
midnight.
Sunday. It's a Sunday. I would have
It is
probably spent
Sunday
my
again.
time. Oh, sorry.
It's
Okay.
Sunday in Canada, but I guess
It's
it's
Sorry.
midnight
almost
here. It's a
Monday
morning.
in Nigeria.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
It's still
Well, Kemi,
Sunday in
thank you.
Nigeria. It's
Thank
still
you,
Sunday in
No,
Kemi.
thank you
Nigeria.
so much for having me,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy to
Thank
meet all of
you.
you, and I enjoyed myself as well.
Yes, so such a
Thank you.
fantastic
Thank you.
conversation.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad we're able to make some impact. Thank you, everyone. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want more videos like this, I know somebody said I should do this more often, but you guys, let me know what you want us to talk about. I can always bring people to come on. I can call Kemi again, Saeed. I can call Shaya. I'm sure they'll be happy to come and
I will.
teach you guys what is really going on here and just impact knowledge. Yeah. So if you want to see this again, give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment after this video is uploaded so that I can see it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye
Bye.
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 Bye.